Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in New Vienna, Iowa. It means it's time for another live stream. Sorry, I got that microphone kind of weird. I'm in a different setup than usual because I'm at my mother-in-law's house. I decided not to get the big camera all set up. I try to do it a little bit more informally because I'm kind of like on, I guess, vacation is the right word for it. I'm not sure what to call it. Taking a little bit of some time off, hanging out with family. So that's where we are. But I wanted to do a live stream now that World Championships are over. And because today is a Monday, we'll do a Monday Mukbang. I decided to go to a local donut shop in the area. I've not done that before here somehow. It's a surprise. So I looked one up to find where one would be. And then I picked a run that would be close to there so I can go there afterwards. And I picked up today, Donut Boy is a little hole in the wall spot. But once you walk in, it looked like a very modern donut shop, if there's such a thing as that. So I was actually pretty surprised. I was worried going in there that they weren't going to take cash. So I was like, all I got is credit card, so I'm not sure what was going on. And then as soon as I opened the door, it looks like an Instagram designed donut shop, and like the kiosk is an iPad. So I'm like, all right, this is like my speed. So I knew I'd be okay. So I got a bunch of donuts here. I picked a half dozen, which is probably more than I'm going to eat, but I'm going to go for it. But before I get into that, let's say hi to everyone listening on the, I can hold this up. The reason why I do it this way is because I want to be able to show you the box of the donuts. So that's why I'm bent over. But while I'm not eating the donuts, I can hold the microphone and sit up normally. But I do want to say hi to everyone listening on the podcast, the audio only version. Hopefully having a good run out there today, guys. Weather here has been mild. There were some storms the other day. Before the storms, it was really, really hot, unbearably hot. And then after that, it's been bearable. So hopefully it's like that for you guys. Although I know a lot of the country is real hot. So stay cool out there. And everyone watching this on YouTube later after the fact, hopefully you got some food or some snacks to enjoy this with, because we're going to be eating some donuts. And that always seems to make everybody hungry. All right. Now let's see who we got in the chat here before I get into the donuts. We got Pete G says, hi guys, no running for me. I got COVID. Oh no, Pete. I just feel awful. My running shoes are looking at me, but can't go puke, so bet it is. All right, man. Hopefully you got a quick recovery. Terrence Sui says, ooh, Kogang here early. Must be due to the hiatus. Hello, all. What's going on? Runner Will's here. He says, hello, everyone. It's been a minute. It sure has been. Oh, man. I was reading a tweet today from Hanson's Distance Project, and they were like, runners are so, I forget what the adjective was, but indecisive or something along those lines, because he was like, at the same time, there's two feelings. One is that there's a fly over here. It's just been following me. One of the two feelings is that like World Champions is 10 days. It's way too long. It should only be 5 to 6 days long, which I totally agree. And then the second feeling is I can't believe it's over. It went by so fast, which I also definitely agree. But I got to tell you, having been at Eugene, my first World Championships ever, my first time in Eugene at Hayward Field, if I'm going to go to another meet like this, that's more than 5 days, I got to have a workout plan, because I have a different kind of endurance. I do not have the kind of endurance for that kind of activity. So I was so wiped out. I mean, I was there totally 5 days of the meet, but like 7 days total. It was exhausting. I was so tired. So, but worth every second. So cool. All right, we got, and it says, hi, Kofuzi and everybody. No more donuts, not more donuts today. If a box of donuts are consumed each Monday, you'll need medical attention. Yeah, I mean, the donuts aren't going to be every Monday. I think we got fall marathons on the horizon. We'll start getting back into the normal routine of testing like marathon training products and like endurance products. So we'll get back to that. But for today, I thought we'd do one more donut. So let's get into this box. Let me show you what's in here. All right, this is Donut Boy in Dubuque, Iowa. I got with, this one is cream filled. This one is a rainbow sprinkle. This one is just a chocolate covered Long John. This one is just a twist. And they call them rings. They're glazed donut. I got a sugar ring and a glazed ring. So those are the 6 for today. I don't know if I'll eat them all. I think we're gonna start with the twist. So we'll go with that. Cheers. This is a giant donut. Oh, this is really tasty. Very sugary, very airy. Very good. I think I'm tasting vanilla in the glaze, maybe. But it's really, really good. All right. If you guys have questions about when I was up in Eugene, feel free to put them in the comments down below or in the chat. Not comments down below, in the chat. Tracy Smith. I love watching track every day. Going through withdrawals now. It's hard. You know, one of the feelings that I had was uh, I was very ambivalent about it too. Ambivalent's not the right word because ambivalent connotes a not caring. I cared very much about it because I was there for days of the meet 1 through 5, and then 6 through 10. Last night being 10, I was very conflicted about it. I was super excited to watch, but at the same time, I was like, well, I can't be there, so I'm like, you know, it's kind of like when the kids, like if you're a young kid and then the parent goes away on like a work trip or something, and they come back, and rather than being excited that the parent has returned, you're mad at the parent. That feeling, that's what I had watching all these meets and all these like records being broken and all these like phenomenal performances. I was like, I wish I could have been there, but it was really cool to watch. Kurt says, what's going on, Kurt? He says, been a while since I've been here for one of these. Yeah, it's been a while since we've all been together, so it's good to see you guys again. Lucas H says, hello, my running friends. Martha says, hi, everyone. Good to see you, Martha. Sean says, hey, everyone. Welcome back to Kapuzzi. Phenomenal Runners Weekend video. Very much Doug following along on the Asics adventures. It was a lot of fun. That video was like super difficult to make because there's just so much stuff in there. If I felt like I could take another couple of days, I would have made it 30 minutes. But instead, I just left it in kind of where it was, full extended cut. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a blast living it. I had a blast making the video, and I still enjoy like going back to watch it now. So it's not doing quite as well as I would have hoped, but you know, maybe that's one of those things where the views slowly build over time as people get excited for maybe the next World Championships. Because I think that there's been so much content from the World Championships that maybe people are inundated and not really super excited to sit down for a 50-minute video about it. So maybe that's what it is. Hopefully that's what it is. Dr. Josh is here. He said, what up, Common fam? Good to see you, Dr. Josh. I saw Dr. Josh a couple of times over the weekend, or over the week that I was there. Sorry, I saw my wife driving away somewhere. I don't know where she would have gone. Yeah, so I saw him at the 5K, and I also saw him at the marathon, the men's marathon. I guess that was the same day. I felt like that was a couple of days. Josh, where did I see you again? I saw you again another time, I thought. But the story for the marathon, the 5K, was that I was going to try to get all the way up front so I could get some footage of Josh running. Because I wanted to record him in race footage and then send it to him later so he could put it in his video. But as it got start time, all the fast people started nudging up front, and I was like, yeah, they're going to be really mad when they see what speed I go out at. So I kind of left there a little gap thinking, once there's room, maybe I can catch up a little bit. But there was a point where after the gun went off, I was sprinting, and Josh and the rest of the lead pack just kept going further and further. And I was like, sorry, I'll see you later, guys. So that's why there's no footage of Josh in the race, because I couldn't catch up. Sean Miller says, welcome back. Eric says, hey, everyone, nice job on all the coverage from Eugene Wrapup. Great stuff. Haven't watched that much track and field since the late 1980s. Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched that much track and field since the last Olympics, just observing it. And some events I'd never seen at the pro level in person before, like at 10,000 meters. I'd never seen a pro 10,000 meters before. And I don't think I've seen a pro pole vault either. I've seen a lot of collegiate pro vault back when I was in my collegiate days, but and those vaults were high. But just to see it at the world class level was pretty special. So it was a real unique situation for me. And I know it wasn't my core thing. I like track. I focus on road marathons and half marathons and the endurance sports, but it was cool to just kind of be in it and get engulfed and wrapped up in all the excitement that was in the community, in the stadium, in the town, everywhere. It was really awesome. It was really cool. All right. I should probably stop eating this one because there's others to eat in here. I'm feeling this twist is going to taste a lot like the sugar ring. So I'm not going to eat the ring. But maybe I'll go for the... Yeah, maybe I'll go... I think I'll finish this one. And then I'll go for some of the other ones later. Steve says, evening, everyone. On the Drop podcast, I thought your GoPro tip was honestly going to be don't leave it in an Uber. That's funny. I wish I would have remembered that. So I had a chance to be on the Drop podcast. I certainly invited myself on. But we were all hanging out somewhere. And a lot of the time we had the same schedule or a similar schedule. So we got to similar places. And we had just finished doing something. And I was like, hey, what are you guys doing now? And they were talking about planning to do the Drop podcast later. And they were going to use, and I could have used this room too if I wanted to do voiceover work and stuff. But they were going to use it to record a podcast. And I was like, oh, you're going to do the Drop podcast from here? They're like, yeah. I'm like, can I be on it? And they're like, okay, yeah, sure. So I was like, they didn't invite me on. I invited myself on. But it was a lot of fun to do that one. I'm trying to think, that was definitely, was that before or after? I've lost track of the days. I don't know if that was before or after I lost my GoPro. So that's the thing. I'm not sure what the order of events was. But since you're mentioning it, it probably was after I'd already lost my GoPro. But yeah, that's the second time I've lost my GoPro in an Uber, which is remarkable considering all the times that I've brought my GoPro places. And the first time it happened was maybe 2016 or 2017. Because it was like a GoPro Hero 3. So it was a long time ago. And I pride myself on not doing that kind of thing. But here's the thing. Asics pants don't have enough pockets. And so my normal kind of carry in Eugene was phone in the right hand pocket, GoPro in the left. Those pants that I had on didn't have enough pockets. So the GoPro I was holding in my hand. And my normal practice when leaving an Uber is bag on the back, phone in your hand, and then you just get out. And I just guess I didn't look back like I normally do. And do a sweep, visual sweep. So that's how I lost it. But thanks to Jan for bringing it back to me. Cowbell for Terrence Hui Marathon PB on a tough course. Really? Whoa. That on the San Francisco course, right? That San Francisco course. Hilly. So hilly. Man. Daddy J says, I feel like I'm being roasted. My girlfriend wanted donuts and I forgot them. Now here we are with you showing up your donuts, making me look bad. I'm sorry, buddy, but I mean, dude, you forgot the donuts though. I feel like some roasting is appropriate. All right. Casey A says, hey, everyone. Welcome home, Co. Bishan Mom says, hey, everyone. And Eliza says, welcome back, Co. I look forward to the donut selections you made. Awesome. You know what? I'm going to put this one down, and I'm going to get into the next one because I'm ready for another one, a different flavor. I'm going to go with this one. I think there's cream in this one, chocolate frosted. This is a good donut. The chocolate frosting is delicious. I haven't gotten to any cream inside yet. I think I got one with cream in it, so we'll see. Sean wants to know, how do the new Asics slides feel? Are they worth the $80? I'd say if you can get them and you're looking for a recovery slide, yeah, get these. They're good. I mean, UFOs are great. I've never tried the Hoka ones before. My Crocs slides that I bought last summer that I've still been wearing are also good. These are just a different kind of experience. They're super squishy. They feel good on the arches. They kind of like massage your foot. Not quite like the ones, like the stubby ones that Adidas makes. You know, they have all the little nubs on it. It's not quite like that, but it's just super gentle. And like for me, after long runs, after long workouts, usually my heels are my left heel tends to get a little bit sore. And so having that super softness just removes any sort of impact on the bottom of the feet. So it's real nice. I mean, I've done a lot of walking in them too. I probably walked a good maybe 1.5 to 2 miles a day in them since I got them, like walking around Eugene. So like, you You can move around in them too. The cream is white filling. I would like more of a yellow cream. This is good too. It's like a marshmallow cream, I think. I don't know. I might have to get another pass at it before I give you the verdict. Andrew Hunt says, yo, fun coverage of the World Championships. Good work. Thanks so much, Andrew. What's fun is like people are like already starting to talk about, because of the weird COVID schedule, World Championships is going to be again next year. Next year in Budapest. No one's talked to me about that yet, but I don't know. It sounds pretty exciting. It sounds like a pretty fun time. Thomas Nguyen says, hi, Co. and Run Fam. Ramen and meatballs. Ooh. We're recovering after a car accident last week. Man, hopefully you're okay, Thomas. And Eric says, wish I had a donut right now. Hot decaf breakfast tea instead. I'm doing it wrong. Yeah, decaf breakfast tea. That doesn't sound right. The donut's good, Eric. I'm not trying to rub it in, but it's good. Matthias says, greetings and salutations. Good to see you again, Matthias. Eliza says, I also learned something new from the slides video. I didn't know dog poo was a concern for many. I told the Asics people like that I was going to make a video to come out the same day that I got the ones that actually fit me, which is the same day like the press conference was. And they're like, do you think it's going to be well received? I'm like, it's not going to probably get as many views as like a shoe video, but I think that it will certainly get a lot of attention from people that are into 3D printing. And so, but I'm like, but you know what the most popular comment's going to be? Watch out for stepping in dog poop. And they're like, what? I'm like, for some reason, whenever I make a video about on shoes or 3D printed shoes, people are like, but what are you going to do when you step in dog poop? And I'm just like, don't step in. Who's stepping in dog? Why are you so concerned about stepping in dog poop? These are recovery slides. Like you're supposed to wear them like around the house, like to the pool, like maybe to the mall, walking around a little bit. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, I don't understand. Like, is there like, do you I'm like, do people normally not have a rule or look forward to like, do they try stepping in dog poop? They're like, I need a slide that's going to handle my dog poop stepping requirements. Like, I don't understand. Like, the dog poop comment really surprises me all the time. It's like a dad joke. It's a really bad dad joke, like not a funny, corny one. I love dad jokes, but it's like a really bad one. So the dog poop one was a surprise. And the other line of comment that was super surprising was that my feet weren't pretty enough. Like, they're like, dude, your feet are nasty. You can't put those on camera. And I'm like, this is a video about a recovery slide. And if I'm like, these are great for recovery for marathoners, and like my feet were pretty, like you'd be like, this guy doesn't run marathons. You know what I mean? So like, it was a lot. The comments were very surprised. I just think that sometimes with 3D printed stuff, people just don't know how to it's still a relatively novel idea. It's been around for a while, but like no one's really cracked the code on it yet for shoes anyway. And so I think it's still kind of like people are like, but wait, but what if, I think people are just so like, it's just very a weird idea for a lot of people. And it is, but it's funny, like the dog poop comments. Lee Wilson's here. What's going on? Lee says, enjoy the Eugene coverage. Thanks so much. I had so much fun out there. Eugene is like, it was a weird place because like there was a game that I would try to play, and every time I like saw someone like in the distance, like never someone I actually met in person, but I would like I'd be by Thomas or Robbie, and I'd be like, all right, that guy over there, guy, polo shirt, track pants, dad or Olympian, or dad or track coach. Like that was a game, and we had to try to guess which they were. Like, is it an athlete's dad? Is it a fan? Or is it like someone involved like deeply in the sport? Because it could have been like you never knew who you were sitting next to, no matter where you were. So especially for someone like me who's not like a diehard, like I didn't grow up watching track. I didn't grow up, like my parents didn't take me to track meets, which there's times where it felt like everyone else in the stand had that story, but I didn't. But like, so like I could be sitting next to someone legend and I wouldn't even know. But that was like, because it was so compact. I was telling my wife about it. It's like, the unique thing about it is that, like, if they had this, let's say, in New York, lots of hotels, easy to fly to, that kind of thing, you could step out of your hotel and you'd be in New York. You'd just be a person in New York City. But when the meet's in Eugene, you step out of your hotel and everyone around you is there for the meet. They're a track fan. They're a track person. They might be a track athlete, so that's what made it like a really like unique, very intimate kind of experience. I hope that came across. Martha says there's no crawlers. Yeah, there were no crawlers for sale at Donut Boy. That was a surprise. The filling is like busting out of the bottom here. But these donuts are pretty good. Very airy. I feel like they're very rich donuts. Owen says the sprinkles donut can go right into the shot. You don't like sprinkles on your donuts? Travis says, "Yoko, nice to see you and hear how much fun you had." Yeah, I had no voice by the time I came back. My wife picked me up from the airport, and she was like, "Oh, you don't sound good. Are you sick? Did you get COVID while you're over there?" I'm like, "No, I just can't talk anymore." I've been screaming my head off for like the past 6 days, and I was like, I just don't have any more voice left. Josh wants to know, what do you think they do with the mascot now? I don't know. I'll tell you what, though. I was not a fan of the mascot before I got there. I was like, I don't know. I mean, how many kids are going to this meet? There were a lot, actually. And, like, I mean, I guess it's for the kids or whatever. But, like, who needs a mascot? And basically, there wasn't a lot of time at the meet where there was, like, downtime. It's not like a baseball game where there's, like, the going from the top to the bottom of the inning, there's a switch and there's just some downtime where there's commercials being played on TV. Like, there was always something going on. There was either like heats going on and or throws, jumps, jab, triple. There was always something. But in the rare moments that there were like setting up like hurdles or something that took a little bit longer, that mascot performed, and it performed really well. And I was like, finding myself entertained by it, which I normally don't. And I was like, this is a surprise. This is a really talented mascot. And then there was what's also something that I don't think you guys picked up. I mean, people picked up, like, unless they were there, is like there was a lot of fun stuff happening with like the camera crew at the stadium. So like there was not quite stuff like kiss cams and stuff like that, but there would be times where like the announcer would just the camera would start panning around through the crowd, and like he would be like, the Jamaican contingent is here, and then the Jamaican fans would go crazy. Or there would be like a group of Ukrainian fans, and then they would like spot them out. And then like the running theme was dancing baby. So the camera would stop on like a baby, and the parent would make the baby like dance a little bit, and sometimes the babies were into it and sometimes they weren't. And so like dancing baby became like a theme of the meet, which was really fun. So there was a lot of fun stuff happening. But as far as the mascot now, I bet you it goes into like a storage closet somewhere and never to be seen again. And by the way, I don't know if there's been any update to the mascot theft story. So Sarah Lourdes Butler tweeted out saying like she understands that a media photographer has been detained regarding the theft of Legend the Mascot's head. And I thought that was hilarious. And so just to joke around, I retweeted it and I was like, just to confirm everybody, they're not talking about me in this tweet. And a lot of people reacted to that one well. And then some people were like, no, they found it because look, Legend the Mascot is at the stadium like the following morning. But I had inside information. The only inside information that I have on this story is that there are 2 Legend the Mascot costumes. And so the fact that one was at the stadium the next day does not necessarily mean that there wasn't a theft of the mascot head. I don't know. I need to look into that. Maybe I could dig up some additional information on that. So I don't know if the first mascot head had been recovered. I got the sense that it had been. But just because you saw Legend of the Mascot later doesn't mean that there wasn't a theft. I'll say that. All right, let me scroll down in the bottom. I'm way behind on you guys. Sorry about that. Let's see. Matuku wants to know. I question, but have you peed on yourself? Like, not go off in the woods, but all out on the road, not stop peeing on yourself? No, I've never done that. I understand that triathletes do that a lot. Like on the bike, I think, and maybe in the water. But I've never had to do that myself. Keith C says, yo, love the Eugene video. How many miles did you put in the day of the 5K/men's marathon? I forgot to record. I was going to record the activity. But on the day of the 5K, we ran, our hotel to the 5K was about a mile, if you're going to count that. So that's a mile there and back. It's 2. Then the 5K, which was 3 miles, so that's 5. And then I'm not sure how many miles I ran, but I kept bouncing back and forth, and I kept having to run around barriers and around security checkpoints and stuff. I don't think it was as much as when I filmed the women's marathon. The day of the women's marathon, I ran 9 miles total, but I also didn't run a 5K that day. So, yeah, it was a lot of running. I mean, most of it's like, moderate pace running, not quite marathon pace running, just getting from point to point. But then when the runners come by, then I'm like, a lot of times that's like my mile pace, or pretty close to it. So it gets, I was exhausted by the end of the day for both days. Adam says, oh man, like the cameraman at the start of the men's steeplechase. I didn't see that until like after like the crowd had reacted to it. And I was like, oh boy, what was he doing out there? And I think what was going on was, I think the high jump was still happening. I think that's why that guy was on the track. He might have been trying to get like a shot of the high jump into the crowd and maybe like of the screen. Like I think I know what that guy was doing, but he was really locked into what he was doing. He had no idea what was coming behind him. But I would say to his credit, once he realized what was happening, I mean, he got himself into a bad situation. And I don't know if there's any follow-up on that. But when he got himself into a bad situation, and once he did, he froze. He didn't try to like move out of the way and be like, oops, sorry guys, let me move out of the way for you. He just stopped. And so like people saw where he was and he just stopped there. The good thing about it is that like, his camera is connected by cables. So there's cables running around all over the place. Thank goodness he didn't trip anybody with the cables. Because that would have been harder to see. Oh, Dr. Josh says, they detained Joe Hale and LOL held him for 4 hours and took his credential away. He didn't do it, obviously, but they reviewed footage and said it was a bunch of high schoolers. I thought he was kidding. So I was joking that it wasn't me. Joe Hale, who is a photographer that was working with New Gen, I've met Joe before, I think. I think he was doing photography work with, if I'm remembering this correctly, I think he was doing stuff with Heartbreak for the Chicago Marathon. Josh, I think you were there with me when I met him for the first time. And then, because Josh, you and I went to Heartbreak after the marathon in Chicago this year. So I think that's the first time I met Joe. And so Joe and Ben Crawford are tweeting about it, saying like, Joe's been detained. New Gen is cooperating with the investigation, all that kind of stuff. I thought they were just kidding. So I don't know if you're kidding, Josh, but there's lots of levels of meta-ness to this conversation, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. I didn't think that. Did he actually get detained? No way. All right, let me keep scrolling down. Uh, Eric wants to know how would the 3D sandals handle pee though? Dog pee. He says, "I kid, I kid, I kid." Um, yeah, some interesting questions about it. I mean, I suppose it's a legitimate question. Um, and some, like many conversations on the internet, it's like they're taking a legitimate concern, like what if debris gets in there, and taking it to an absurd conclusion. What happens when you put feces inside? You know. But yeah, the 3D printed sandal questions were interesting. New Betra says, talking about pee, he says, having worked at a shop that serves triathlon bikes, we didn't necessarily want to know why they were sticky. Yeah. Adam says, pretty sure we saw you the TV coverage of the men's marathon and overhead shot as they came through on lap one. Someone recorded their TV and sent that to me, and I was super excited about that. Now, here's the thing. I intentionally wear gray t-shirts or dark colored t-shirts whenever I try to film a marathon, just in case I accidentally get into there's usually not a helicopter shot that I have to worry about. But I'm usually more worried about like the motorcycle shot. Because sometimes I'm running and I see the motorcycle like next to me, and usually they're shooting ahead. So like I'm not, there's no crossfire. We're not crossing streams, but I always try to stay out of like the TV shot. And in case I do get in the TV shot, I wear a great like dark colored t-shirt, something that won't stand out against the athlete's singlets. And the funny thing is, the next day I'm with Thomas and Megan watching the women's marathon, and I'm wearing a gray shirt, and Thomas comes up to me and goes, "I'm wearing my bright pink shirt today." And I'm like, "Oh, I wore a gray shirt on purpose today so I don't get on TV." He's like, "I wore a bright pink t-shirt just in case it'll be easier to see me if I'm on TV." No, I don't think he said it that way. I think he said it as, it'll be easier to find me if we get split up and we're both chasing the crowd, but it might show up on TV. So there are a couple of different ways to look at that situation. Let's see. Oh yeah, Josh says, yeah, it was Joe that was taking photos at Heartbreak. Yeah, that's right. Okay, guys. I'm going to have to go soon because my MacBook battery is getting low and I'm not near a plug. But also, I got kids that want to go to the pool. My nephew just got here. I got to get kids to the pool. Let me do a couple more. Duke BB22 says, do you have an info you could share on the Asics Super Blast? I have info. I have to review what I'm allowed to tell you guys about it so far. I can tell you, though, if you guys remember watching the Eugene video, there's an innovation room where there was all those track spikes and stuff, and I said there was a cabinet, the locked cabinet, that there was cool stuff I could tell you about later. It was in that I think I could tell you that it was in that cabinet. So I got a chance to see it. There was one of them. There was only a right. It was a size 9, or there was only a left or something like that. But the other one, there was no other shoe. So I couldn't try both on. I couldn't try running around in them, which I totally would have if I could. But there was only one shoe there. Or at least that's what I was told. But I will be able to tell you guys, I got fun plans for it. So there'll be a lot more coming soon. David Ernst says, your no motivation video is really coming in handy right now with the heat and humidity in Atlanta. I'd love Chicago weather, winter running right now. Yeah, it's hot, and I don't know how people in like high humidity do it. I ran like the first day we were back in Iowa. I was getting the Eugene video out, and I didn't get to run until like 11. And it was a hot day. It was maybe we got into the 90s here with not crazy humidity, but it was a hot day. And I was just like, I don't like this. This is not fun. I don't like running like this. I was just like soaked within like 30 seconds of running. And I'm like, I don't know how people in like Texas, Florida, Atlanta, I don't know how you guys do it with the humidity and the heat. Louis says, when I was watching the Worlds on a Mexican sports channel, I saw some familiar faces running around. Then I saw your videos and Believe in the Run and knew it was all of your covering the marathon race. That's awesome. You know what was really crazy about it is like there was a horde of people. So it was a lot like a track, like a cross country meet. There was just like a group of people. And because of the way that the course was laid out, it was amenable to a lot of people on bikes following the marathon group around too. So it was a wild pack. It was like a carnival coming through, like a carnival slash mob. So it was really, really wild. All right. Andrew says, in terms of like filming marathon, he said you change the theory in terms of wearing gray and wear the current shirt while filming. Do you know how funny that would be? Is if I'm wearing like a Hawaiian shirt, even if it is by Rabbit, like a running company, but like if I was wearing a Hawaiian shirt, maybe if I do it in like do it in like the Asics slides, people are like, this dude is where he just came from the beach wearing a Hawaiian shirt and flip flops and he's keeping up with the marathon. I don't think I could do that, but I think that'd be funny. All right. And Louis said Thomas was so easy to spot. That's so funny. It's a pink shirt. Awesome. All right. I'm going to have to leave it there, guys. I got lots of donuts left to eat, and I didn't get to them all today, but I don't think they'll be here tomorrow, so I'm not going to eat them on camera tomorrow. But I'm going to let it go here because I think my battery's about to die, and I got kids waiting. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We will do another live stream tomorrow, so we'll get back and we'll do it again same time as today. No video tomorrow, but we'll get together for that live stream. All right. Let's see. Well, how do I normally end the live streams? I totally forget. Be safe out there on your runs, right? Is that what I normally say? I totally forgot. Anyway, this is the end of the live stream. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.